relatively manageable. Today, things are different. A person can compare themselves to thousands of people before breakfast. Successful entrepreneurs, athletes, models, influencers, celebrities, experts, millionaires. Every scroll presents another opportunity to feel inadequate. Another reminder of what someone else has. Another reason to question your own progress. And because comparison has become so common, many people no longer recognize how deeply it affects their lives. Carl Jung once wrote, "The shoe that fits one person pinches another." In other words, every individual follows a different path, a different purpose, a different development, a different journey. The tragedy begins when people forget this, when they start measuring their lives against standards that were never meant for them. Comparison appears harmless at first. You see someone successful, you feel motivated, inspired, encouraged. Sometimes comparison does create growth. Sometimes it pushes people toward improvement. But comparison has a darker side, because it rarely remains objective. The mind does not compare entire lives. It compares selected pieces. Your worst moments against someone else's highlight reel. Your insecurities against someone else's strengths. Your behind-the-scenes reality against someone else's public image. The comparison is fundamentally unfair. Yet people engage in it constantly. Imagine watching a movie while only seeing your mistakes. Every failure, every embarrassment, every weakness. Now imagine comparing that movie to someone else's trailer. Only their victories, only their achievements, only their successes. Who would win? The answer is obvious. Yet this is exactly how most comparison works. The result is predictable. Insecurity, envy, self-doubt, frustration. A feeling that no matter what you achieve, someone else is doing better. And there always will be. That is the trap. Comparison has no finish line. Smarter, more attractive, more accomplished, more talented, more successful. If self-worth depends on being better than everyone else, peace becomes impossible, because someone else will always exist. Someone else will always have something you do not. Jung believed that one of the greatest psychological tasks is becoming an individual, an authentic individual, not a copy, not an imitation, not a competitor in someone else's race. An individual. The problem with comparison is that it pulls attention away from individuality. Instead of asking, "Who am I becoming?" people begin asking, "How do I measure up?" Instead of asking, "What matters to me?" they ask, "What impresses other people?" Instead of following their path, they become distracted by someone else's. This distraction creates suffering, because every person's life contains different circumstances, different talents, different opportunities, different struggles, different timing. Comparing two lives is often like comparing two entirely different games. The rules are different. The starting points are different. The objectives are different. Yet people continue acting as if the comparison is fair. One of the most destructive forms of comparison involves success. Many people assume success follows a predictable timeline. By this age, I should have achieved this. By this stage, I should own that. By now, I should be further ahead. These expectations create enormous pressure, especially when life unfolds differently. But reality rarely follows a schedule. Some people succeed early, others succeed late. Some discover their purpose at 20, others discover it at 60. The timeline varies. The value of a life does not. History is filled with examples. Writers rejected for years before finding success. Inventors ignored before changing the world. Artists unnoticed before becoming legendary. Their stories remind us of something important. Progress is not always visible. Growth is not always immediate. And timing is not always predictable. Comparison ignores these realities. It focuses only on outcomes, not journeys, not sacrifices, not struggles, only results. This creates another problem. Comparison blinds people to their own progress. A person improves significantly, learns new skills, overcomes challenges, grows emotionally, yet still feels inadequate because they are focused on someone ahead of them. The achievement disappears. The comparison remains. The goalpost moves again, and satisfaction never arrives. there's another hidden cost. Comparison often destroys gratitude. The individual becomes obsessed with what is missing, what is lacking, what someone else possesses. Meanwhile, they overlook what already exists: their relationships, their experiences, their opportunities, their growth, their strengths, their blessings. Attention becomes consumed by absence. Abundance becomes invisible. This is one reason gratitude and comparison struggle to coexist. One focuses on what is present. The other focuses on what is absent. One creates peace. The other creates dissatisfaction. Jung believed that the deepest fulfillment comes from becoming yourself, not becoming better than everyone else. Your purpose is not to outshine every person around you. Your purpose is to develop your own potential, to become your own version of success, to live according to your own values. This requires courage, because comparison is easy, individuality is difficult. Comparison follows the crowd, individuality follows truth. Comparison seeks approval, individuality seeks authenticity. Comparison creates anxiety, individuality creates meaning. The next time you catch yourself comparing your life to someone else's, pause for a moment. Ask yourself a different question. Not, am I ahead of them? Not, am I behind them? Ask, am I growing? Am I becoming better than I was yesterday? Am I moving toward the life that matters to me? These questions lead somewhere healthier, because life is not a competition against everyone else. It is a relationship with yourself, and the moment you stop measuring your worth against other people, you begin discovering your own. In the end, comparison steals life because it convinces people to abandon their unique path. It distracts them from their own growth, their own purpose, their own potential. But peace returns when comparison ends, and when that happens, something remarkable becomes possible. You stop trying to become someone else, and finally begin becoming yourself.